The first scene is called An Ordinary Afternoon, and you'll see two of our main characters, Emily and Elizabeth. Train was ready. It's 4 p.m. Last night, the stars were out like a promise, and someone kissed someone they'd never thought of kissing before. Teachers doubted their lessons, and Mrs. Kim could be heard singing the overture to Carousel. If you were just passing through our town on your way to something else, and you happened to stop at the diner for some of Teresa Rivera's peach pie, you might be lulled into thinking that people here were small and narrow and wouldn't give a rightful place to the world's concerns. But we're no different from anyone else, trying to grasp the meaning of things. We're mean and lost, fragile and shrewd, lonely and aiming too high, bitter and good. We come up thinking the world is sweet, but it's every human's experience to meet disappointment. Sometimes there's a commotion that sets in over a new possibility. Like the summer, 3 entire families swore that they spotted a UFO, when it turned out to be Emily Rosen's hopes making themselves known in a burst of light. Which brings me to Emily and Elizabeth. I suppose there aren't any two people on the planet put together in one place for very long who don't have their disagreements, who don't feel sometimes that they've made the worst mistake of their lives, or wish the person they thought was so sweet just a few hours earlier would pack up and leave. There isn't anybody who hasn't looked across the dinner table and thought, I don't know if I love you anymore. And it can drive good people to bad words. But sometimes it's really not the fact. It's no more true than that first day when you looked at someone and thought, she's the one. Thought, I'm saved. We're just scared. That's all. Every one of us. School bell. Now, we're going to go back to the day that two young people really saw each other for the first time and knew that there was some future in it. Oh, and this is high school. And, well, you remember what that was like. In your heart of hearts, aren't you still standing by your locker waiting for that certain person to walk by and maybe, just maybe, say your name? As I move back, Emily and Elizabeth come on stage, have a little scene together where they are 17, breathless and awkward, at the end of which they kiss. And that's how these things get started. Somebody fastens inside of you and you're lost. Of course, it's always pleasing to watch two such fresh ones as Emily and Elizabeth. If we didn't know so much about the terrible turn the heart takes, we could be happier for them. And so, 20 years have passed. A wedding's about to take place. Emily and Elizabeth set up house over on Taft Street. And you remember Georgie, the newspaper boy? Well, he lives across the way with his partner, Louis. And today, these fine friends are preparing to send their offspring out into the world together. We hear the wedding march, and then a loud, vociferous voice from someone who rises up and spews anti-gay hate. Excuse me, you're interrupting the wedding. Isn't it something that there's never any lack of trouble for what ought to be a person's own business? George's father never spoke to him again after he found out. Emily's mother, she kept in touch. She wouldn't look Elizabeth in the eye. It's a hard thing when your own turn away. It's a powerful hold that they've got on you, on our hearts and minds. Mother, father. The world is unforgiving enough without the people who brought us up in it taking the other side. So let's not allow that part of the world in today. Just for a little while, let's give these families a break. It seems to me we'd all sleep better at night knowing our children had someone decent to worry over them each and every day. Each and every time they laid their heads down to rest from the day's concerns. Doesn't matter, all the rest of it. The music starts again. I now pronounce you part of the human race that has the good fortune and the daily struggle and the choice of being married. We wish them all the best, don't we? The lights shift as the families move upstage. Now this is the hard part. This last scene, if you haven't already figured it out, is called the end of things. Of course, that's only one way of seeing it. Once you've known someone, they never stop being a part of how you look at the world. That goes for the living as well as the dead. And who knows if maybe we're being watched over somehow or carried out into the eternal universe by every soul we ever mattered to or who mattered to us. But our sad friends don't know any of this today. This is a funeral for Chance, who was walking down the street one chilly day, bringing home the newspaper with a story he was proud to write, and caught someone's anger in a stray bullet. Lewis died of a terrible thing that took too many too young. And Elizabeth from breast cancer, too many too young. But the human heart has a way of making itself large again, even after it's broken into 1,000,000 pieces. Once a person knows a kiss and a kind word, you can't blame him for never wanting to live without him again. Our friends here will go on a long time past their partners, and they'll make room again for kisses and kind words. But the heart never forgets, never gives up the territory marked off for the ones who came before. They'll always have a place, and their kisses and kind words will be on. Well, it's turning into the next day. People are picking up their mail, making plans, having opinions. This is who we are. This is us. It's a mystery, isn't it?